Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 3. Holy cow.
My goodness.
Of Solar Plexus.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
That's amazing.
Solar Plexus and Chill. I'm here with the beautiful and amazing and talented and hilarious Mona Shaikh.
Oh, yay.
Yay.
Well, I'm here with the talented and hilarious and beautiful Christy Bellick.
Oh, you're so sweet. And then on production, in the background, you'll hear his beautiful voice, Mr. Travis Clyburn.
What's up, guys?
Man who takes handsome pills.
Yeah, seriously. Every time I see him, he's glowing a little bit more and more.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
And
Yep.
I'm like, how are the ladies not crawling up all over that? Like, that's madness to me.
I appreciate that.
We're here. I might have drool down my face right now. I'm not sure. I pumped it. The only mega bus during the day from Vegas to here is 7:15, and it lands, but it comes in at 12:40.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Fuck, let me see if I can get there in time," and I sort of did, and I'm glad.
And you drooled on the way, and you took a nap on the way.
Took a nap on the way.
That's amazing.
And learned a lot about other people's lives.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Involuntarily.
Involuntarily. I've got a 1-800 number calling my live feed. No, thank you. Okay.
And they're calling. I think they're calling about the drooling.
I think so. I think right now what I want to do to start out is a meditation to get us into flow because I'm out of flow. So can you help me with this?
Okay, sure.
Do you feel comfortable with some meditation cards?
Sure.
Okay, we're just going to pick one.
I have no idea what we're doing.
Okay, we're just going to pick one. You just have to put the deck into 3 different piles, and we're going to focus on solar plexus chakra right now.
Okay.
And I'm just going to breathe out Las Vegas. I've been in Las Vegas for I don't know how many days. 2 weeks, I think. I don't know how long I've fucking been there.
Oh my God.
But, okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in and then follow your heart to your personal card.
Okay. To my personal card.
And anybody watching as well.
Do I flip it?
Yeah. It is the Prince of Dicks, the Prince of Stars. Look at that guy with a big old dick. He's too small for that big old dick.
I know.
Look at that.
That's a liar. He's lying.
You think he's got dick, like, confidence?
Well, he's trying to show it, but I don't think he's got it.
Yeah.
So what does this card represent besides a guy who shows off he has a big dick but doesn't really?
Have one? It means impulsive behavior. Be careful about impulsive behavior. It's also about an adventurous soul or spirit. It's very solar plexus chakra because it's fire sign.
Ooh.
So it's about really embracing your fire energy.
Wow. Is that about me or just for everyone?
I feel like it's for everybody.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I think it's the big dick confidence.
Embrace your fire. Big dick confidence.
Have white male what's that meme? Have white male mediocre confidence no matter what you're doing. Like people on the fucking Megabus, which by the way, Megabus, not a sponsor, but maybe now I'm looking for sponsors for this podcast. I want soap.
Yeah.
Preferably body soap, but I'll deal laundry soap or dish towels, something.
Anything that causes any kind of cleanliness.
I need hygienic. I need toothpaste because these fucking trucker teeth right now. I need to. And then I also would like Megabus to sponsor me.
Yeah.
If I were to do an honest Megabus ad, it would be Megabus, where you can talk on speakerphone no matter how many fucking people are on that goddamn bus. That, and I mean, if you're going Greyhound.
With zero fucks given.
Zero fucks given.
That's wonderful.
Greyhound, same thing, except
That's big dick confidence right there.
Megabus.
Are you shitting me right now? That's a Megabus card right there. That's a big dick Megabus card right there.
Yes. How do you feel about public transportation?
Can I tell you something? I'm not even lying, I've been in LA for about 9.5, 10 years. I've taken it just once.
One time.
Oh.
And that was the only reason because I went down to the Women's March in 2017.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
The women's march.
That
you
was
say.
amazing. Yeah.
Oh yes.
That was the first time I went to the women's march, and I was like so overwhelmed by it, because the reason I left New York City was to not be around that.
Yeah.
And to be, I love being angry and, curse people out and flip people off in my own car. Like, I don't want to, you can't flip people off in person.
You can.
It's
you
too
just
real.
look crazy.
Yeah, you look crazy.
Yeah.
It's too real.
I did it all the time in
Yeah,
New
do
York
you?
City. All the time.
It's too real. It's,
Drivers.
Yeah. I just like, I just like being in my car. It just has so much more freedom. You can talk on the speakerphone and nobody's there to tell you to fuck off. It's great.
Very true. And so wait, so let me like do a little bit of a backstory. I needed to understand what the universe wanted to ask of today's episode, and it's really just to own it like a MAGA hat, like just really do it up.
You mean the new kind of white burqa? Is that what you is that what you're referring to?
Oh, I saw something on Instagram, but I'm not gonna. I guess there was like a.
All you see are eyes in both of them, so hell. Everything else is covered.
Yeah, I don't know how to respond to that right now. Other than I need more coffee to get the quips in, but I can't. I'm just gonna bomb this episode.
No, this is gonna be great.
You gotta carry me.
You already got the pink lemonade cookies going on over here.
My Yonsei cookies. So
Listen, no, you're good. You got chapstick by your side. You'll do just fine.
I wanted to talk about how A, I met you.
Yeah.
But B, fucking congratulations. You were like a Guinness book. Was it a Guinness Book of World Records?
Okay, let's not get crazy on that.
It was like you just like broke a world record.
It was historical. I made history. Yeah.
And you were at the Women's March in San Francisco.
Yes, I was. On the 19th, Saturday, January 19th.
So my days are like running together.
It's totally fine.
But that UA fucking amazing. And
thanks.
B, so you hosted. So Mona hosted.
I am seated. Yeah.
And you fucking killed it.
Oh, thanks.
How many people were there?
50,000.
Fuck yes.
50,000 people. Yeah. The biggest crowd I ever performed for was 1,000, and then I went from 1,000 to 50,000.
How did that feel to be in front of 50,000 people?
I think initially I couldn't even process how to feel about it, because how do you even know? There's no point of reference. So what do you reference it with? So people kept asking me, they're like, "How are you feeling?" I'm like, "I don't know how I feel, because I've never performed for such a big crowd." But then, literally, I'm not even kidding. Like, my emceeing started at like 11:30, and like 11:15, I'm sitting in the back and I'm like working on my notes. I was so overwhelmed, but I had to give a speech. I had like 2 hours worth of emceeing. So all this notes that were giving me and changing, and all these speakers coming in. Somebody's running late, and I was so overwhelmed by it. I was just like, just don't fuck it up. I was just like, don't fuck it up. Like, you have 50,000 people watching you. Don't fuck it up. And I think I was so focused on it. It's not until like 11:15 that I started hearing people cheer and applaud, and all the cheering was going on, that I started welling up. I started like crying, and I was just like, okay, you cannot cry and go on stage. I mean, this is just stupid at this point. I'm like, hold your shit together, Mona. Hold it together. But it was incredible. When I started emceeing, I think about maybe 3,000 or 4,000 people were there at the time, and then it just grew as as the emceeing went along. But it was absolutely incredible. I mean, holy shit, Nancy Pelosi showed up. Congresswoman Barbara Lee was there. The mayor of San Francisco was there, London Breed. But it is something else when you get up on stage and perform in front of thousands of people and tell your jokes. You literally hear like this wavelength of like it goes like in a rollover laughter. It's like ha 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 ha. Like it's like an echo. It's like an echo chamber of laughter. So it was lovely. It was by far one of the most important moments of my life, hands down. Because you were talking about the history part.
Yeah.
So I'm the first South Asian, Middle Eastern female comedian ever to perform in front of a 50,000 people crowd.
That's fucking amazing.
Thank you.
And like to think of the budding seed of when we met And to think,
Yeah, that's a long way here.
but that's like so. It just goes to show you like what comedy is, like what stand-up comedy, like whatever this energy or this power or whatever your voice is, like is really fucking powerful. And like I think I don't know how is it okay, like we had like a private conversation about like how the first time we met like was kind of like this very pivotal moment, at least for me to witness, for a lot of female comics to witness. And I mean, we had just gone from, I think, the same show. It's just that I opened up that show and then went across the street.
Got it.
And then I think
because I headlined that one.
Yeah.
And you opened that one. Got it.
So you closed. It was we met in Washington D.C. in this little.
Was it last April? Was it last year?
I think it was last April. It was like this little jazz. Well, it's a jazz club. It's a jazz bar called Madam's Organ in Adams Morgan, Washington. So it's like a jazz bar on the bottom floor, and then you have to take this like back, like go to the attic staircase to go to an upstairs bar where they do stand up. Yeah. And it's a really hopping room, but it also kind of backs as an open mic as well, so you kind of get flow of like people like you who are coming in and working on your stuff, and then other people who are like waiting until 1 a.m. to get up, and then like Tony Woods, who always closes at 2 a.m. or 1:30 a.m. Who just like goes and like talks to people and like makes fun of them. But when I saw you there was like a fucking table of hecklers in the front of this bar, because the way
they were girls. They were not guys. They were girls. Female drunk bitches hecklers. That's who they were.
Shout out to Live Amber Brashear. I love you.
They were women. You know, because you always think in terms of like, oh, hecklers when you say hecklers, you immediately think a guy. It wasn't. It was a table of girls who were drunk off their ass. And
I exclusively get heckled by women.
What was that?
I've only been heckled by women. Men
really?
Usually, because I'm a bigger fella, don't fuck with me.
But I would think that women don't want to do that either.
To yell at me.
Really?
It's like their favorite pastime.
That's so
what
crazy.
do they say to you? What is their hashtag trigger?
Sometimes they just like to. Well, they usually don't yell because they're mad. They just want to be a part of the show, and they're hammered. And then you just gotta shut it down. Like they just want to talk to me sometimes.
You gotta shut that shit down real fast.
Yeah,
really fast.
Because if they're drunk, they think that they're part of the show, and it's about them. And you gotta just be like, no.
Yeah,
were these hecklers being mean? The group of girls?
Yeah,
mean.
They were triggered. They were angry.
They were angry about?
Fucking. They were. See you next Tuesdays. That's what they were. Yeah, big see you next Tuesdays. Yeah, no, it was. Without getting into too many of the details of that night.
Hell, get into them. I want to hear what you said. I want people to know what Mona Shaikh said to these motherfuckers. These fucking cunts. If you're out there,
absolute cunts. There's no denying about that. No, they were really obnoxious. You know, I saw this comic that went up before me. So I'm there standing on the side, and they're like, "Oh, you can go up and do a spot." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I see this black male comic go up, and dude, these girls were making that poor guy nervous. I'm like, if these bitches can make a black man nervous, I gotta like really be on my shit right now. Like this is some bullshit right now, you know? So I'm like, all right, so these comics are kind of young. They don't really know. They're not. Nobody's addressing the issue. Nobody's like shutting the shit down. So I'm just like, I'm not taking shit. Like I flew here, so I'm not taking shit from anyone. I mean, not that I take shit from people in LA, but I'm just like, if they talk crap, I'm like, I'm gonna come after them. And anytime I would say a punch, I said my first punchline, and the girl's like, I didn't hear you. And I was like, what? Stupid. I'm like, if you keep quiet, you'll hear my punchline. And I let that shit slide. Just one. She was just gonna get one from me. That's it. And then I was telling a Bill Cosby joke. And she's like, I didn't hear you. That's not funny. I'm like, either you didn't hear my joke, or if you heard it, then it, and say it's not funny, but you can't say you didn't hear it and then call it not funny. That's not how the fucking logic works, bitch. And I was like, you're going to do one of two things. Either you're going to shut the fuck up or you're going to get the fuck out. Take your pick. What's it going to be? And all the comedians in the back started
like,
cheering me.
for you.
They're like, yeah.
And so good.
And it was great. So then she's like, rape jokes aren't funny. And I was like, bitch, I wasn't making a fucking rape joke. I was making fun of Bill Cosby, you dumb bitch. You know? And then she's like, you don't have to talk to me like that. I'm like, bitch, I'll talk to you however the fuck I want. So you're going to shut the fuck up or you're going to get the fuck out? What's it going to be? And it got really, really crazy. And then one of the girlfriends, this older girlfriends of, she was apparently her partner, I think they were lesbians, walked up to me and put her forehead on my forehead and started to pick a fight with me as if she wants to physically assault me, which was assault, by the way. Her putting her forehead on mine, that was immediate assault.
Yeah, she touched you.
Yeah, she touched me. So then I was just like, look, either I can get into this right now or I can just, let this shit slide. But then my buddy that was there, he's this tall, very lovely comedian, he's a big dude. He stepped in, he's like, shit's about to pop off, son, we gotta stop this. And he stepped in and he like pulled us apart. And I was like, bitch, we can take this. We can fucking go. Let's go. Like, I'm not gonna stand here and tolerate your bullshit. I mean, I came here to work, I'm like, I don't show up to your job and slap the dicks out of your fucking mouth. So get the fuck out of here right now. Then I guess the host like took him out. Like the girl, she was like, tell her to leave. I'm like, bitch, suck a dick, get the fuck out of here right now. And then I walked down and I was like, why don't you go to the top of the fucking building and stab your way down all the way down? Because the world doesn't fucking need people like you. And that was the end of that.
Wait, didn't you tell her she also deserved to be raped? Which I think is my favorite. That's my favorite part of it.
That's so funny.
That's the best part.
I plead the fifth on that.
It's so
That's
funny.
I plead the fifth. I cannot neither confirm nor deny that.
She was raping us all. Like, like.
I can neither confirm nor deny, so I plead the fifth.
But it was so cool. It was like kismet because when I saw you months later, almost,
almost 3-4 months later, at a mic or something like that.
Here in we were at Robin Hood in North
Robin
Hollywood.
Hood, that's right.
And I just saw you. I was like, that is because I remember I had sent you just like this one-liner like Facebook message like. That was so cool. Hi, I'm Christy. And then I see you, months later, and I was like, that's Mona. Oh my God, it was amazing.
What was so, I guess, reassuring that I was in the right and those bitches were in the wrong. I knew that, but like when we got pulled apart and I went towards the end, all the comedians were like literally calling me a fucking OG. Like I was an OG to them. And I was like, this is not OG shit. This is shit that you guys were supposed to take care of and that I had to step in and come clean up this stupid mess. But it was very sweet. Like the comics were like cheering me on. I think they were trying to like lift me up in the air. I'm like, don't do that. But it was very fascinating. But you told me something that was very profound and really touched me. What did you watching me do that and take care of things, what did that do for you as a young comic?
Well, it made me realize I can tell a girl she can fuck off and get raped, which is so amazing. You can do that.
I plead the fifth on that.
Now, I will tell you about heckling situations, but it's like, it made me feel like, oh yeah, I can fucking do this. I can be brave. I can stand up for myself. And that's something I have a really hard time doing because I have the mistake of making friends with hecklers sometimes or being too friendly because I came from New York where you're talking to the crowd a lot, which I had to, when I came here to LA, I had to like stop doing that.
Yeah.
It was really hard to not want to talk to people.
Yeah.
Because when you're making new material, you're like, hey, where are you from? That kind of shit. But here, it's like, I saw you again, like doing your political, like that's what I want to talk about is like the injustices of the world and to tell some fucking dumb cunt, hey, eat your tacos and also shove it up your fucking juicy fucking flabby taco. Like, so,
I don't think there was any conversation about tacos.
She was eating a taco though.
Was she eating a taco?
Yeah.
Well, she was eating taco more than one way, so, yeah.
But it's like, The thing about DC that pisses me off is DC crowds, they call it PCDC, which I know you've played DC many times. Travis, I don't know if you've played DC.
Not many
once.
times.
You played it once?
Yeah, I just went to a bar. Yeah, no, it's like, what, 91% of DC voted for Hillary. So it's incredibly, like, ultra left wing.
Right.
But even
Not to shit on Hillary, but
even at that, they're so PC. Like,
Yes.
so fucking PC.
Yes. I think it's probably the same level of PC as San Francisco.
I've never
that's so weird to think about. DC doesn't seem to me like it would be a place like that, but
You're right.
It's East Coast. You think it'd be a little rougher?
That's correct.
That and DC's pretty fucking ghetto in most places. Like,
Yes.
It's fucking rough.
Yeah. I would
So
think
it's
that
weird
too.
that it's so PC like that.
Well, it's a lot of the federal worker culture.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
people.
They do live in a very special little bubble.
Yeah.
Like a very safe
Mm-hmm.
bubble.
Very safe bubble. Everybody is
not very
listening.
safe with a shutdown. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
no shit.
What they got? 3 weeks off though. So people are working now as of
Yes.
today.
Yes.
Yeah,
But
was it 30 days? 33 days?
35 days.
35.
Yeah, Mona will know. Mona. I'll
the
say
Mona knows.
catch her on the Young Turks because she's the fucking shit. They should hire her full time. Do you want to be on full time on the Young Turks?
On the Young Turks, I would love to. I would love to be a I would. I mean, you know, they do bring me on a lot to comment and stuff. But yeah, it's Young Turks is a great show. Anna and Jenka are great. You know, they're really fun to talk to. Somebody's saying something.
People.
Depends on what sort of DC DuPont is the worst. I don't know. I've never been to DuPont. I wouldn't know.
Oh, DuPont Circle. Yeah, so you were technically, that bar was technically near DuPont Circle. You were in like the circle of that federal vibe, that
Got it.
federal culture vibe.
Yeah, but those girls, honestly, that wasn't even a PC thing. That was a heckler thing. I honestly don't even categorize it as PC. That was just those girls thinking that they're entitled to talk to people because they're young comics. They're not going to talk back to them.
They weren't comics, they were audience.
Yeah.
They were.
I'm talking about the girls talking to the young comics.
Oh, I see.
Because she picked up the vibe. They picked up the vibe like, oh, I heckled that one. Nobody said anything. I picked on that one. Nobody said anything. So fuck it. I can just get to do this.
Yeah,
and
those
then
hecklers, if they smell the weakness, if
Yeah,
they,
exactly.
If they sense that they can fuck with somebody, they're gonna fuck with everybody.
Right, but then you told me that once I came in and shut that shit down, nobody did that shit again, right?
They were out for the rest of the night. I didn't get up until like 12:30, but it's like I was there pretty much most of the night, and like for the rest of the night it went very smoothly. And you were like a crystal. You were like the vessel that I think a lot of women in that area needed that particular night to see, because I will say this for the East Coast, the DC metro scene is a budding scene for women in comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had to, the women out in that area have had to fight a lot of sexism, a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
And it was a constant struggle. And to see that during that time, especially after having really a hard time like breaking in and getting booked, and seeing a woman like be that strong, that was what made me be like, okay, well, fuck y'all. I'm gonna fucking flip people off when I'm angry, and but like.
Well, I'm glad I could do that for you guys.
Thank you.
That wasn't the intention I came with, but fuck it. If shit needs to be done, then shit needs to be done.
But there's like a psychological thing that happens when you're like, okay, so I was in Tampa, Florida, Orlando, Florida, and I had a heckler like try to hurt my friend physically for telling an abortion joke. And so I went up right after her and told, it was just like 3 people in the audience, but they tried to get physical. And there was a bigger dude comic who like came in and like sort of like was the makeshift bouncer for that.
Right, was diffusing the situation.
Yeah.
Right.
But like that's that's kind of something that has happened in the past, where you're like speaking your mind, and then we were the only women in the room, and this woman was in the front. She was sitting there, she was fucking blasted off her ass.
Yeah.
And she was like, I guess she was like a morning news, like that bullshit morning news shit that you like follow,
Yeah.
I'm the whatever, weather girl of fucking, or I don't care, just bimbo. That's what she was, just talking bimbo.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't like your abortion jokes. I don't think they're, and she's just going and on my friend, and it got heated.
Jesus.
And my friend had to like leave the.
She didn't take the bitch down?
She did, but then she did have to like get off stage and leave. And then I got on stage and told her husband that he could like suck his own cock and like things like that. But it was like, and then he goes,
I snorted
he's
on
like,
that one.
I went to Harvard. I was like, I don't give a shit that you went to. I don't care where you went.
You can still suck your own dick.
You can suck your own dick.
Harvard doesn't like negate that. There's no like don't suck your own dick policy at Harvard. Like Harvard's not like you can't suck your own dick if you go to Harvard. It's like no, you can suck your own dick. It's fine. You can still go to Harvard. It's fine.
And still be a piece of shit.
Still be a piece of shit.
In fact, most of the people in office are pieces of shit that went to
Kavanaugh.
Harvard.
Oh God. Oh my God. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's the allergies. I'm allergic to assholes. I'm allergic to assholes.
Exactly. But yeah, it's like.
No, you know what? I have to add something, and I don't know how many of your listeners and watchers here are female comics. Like, we do have this extra struggle of like going through bullshit. Like, so when you go on stage, it's very different than when Travis goes on. Even though Travis has been getting heckled by girls, that's because Travis is a sweet man. But there are the expectations are very different when a female comic goes up versus when a male comic goes up. Unless you're an established female comic, that's a whole different ballgame. But people somehow feel entitled, and I'm not gonna say just men. I'm just gonna say men and women across the board. People or audiences feel a bit entitled to talk to you. I've experienced heckling by grown-ass men in major events. Like, so for instance, I was doing this event of like 300 people in Orange County somewhere, and it was a crowd of like this, conservative Pakistani people, which is who I am, and there was like an official like Pakistani flag day or some shit like that. And I was emceeing this event, and this guy who was there to give a speech, he was, one of the speakers, and he sees me speaking, and he somehow feels entitled that he has to start heckling me in the middle of my set. So I just shut that shit down. I just looked at him, and I just shut it down. I shut him down. He got so embarrassed that he got up and left because his pride couldn't even keep him there, right? And he got and like every time he would see me at any event after that, he wouldn't even make eye contact with me because I scared the shit out of him, right? But I feel like nobody gave me that license. I had to give myself that license.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is an issue that some young female comics perhaps struggle with, or giving yourself that license. After a while, you're just like, okay, what's it gonna be? Am I just gonna constantly go and eat shit, or just have my tail tucked between my legs and fucking leave? Or am I gonna, act out, or I'm gonna, stand up just the way like a male comic does? Why am I any less, or why do I not have the license? I have the absolute same license to do so. But as a woman growing up in a society where you are told to dumb down so many of your things, don't be loud, don't be harsh, be nice, okay? Suck it up. It's okay to shut up. Don't speak your mind, If somebody says anything, turn the other cheek. No, you know what? I'm going to put my boot up your fucking ass is what I'm going to fucking do, right?
Okay.
I'm up here to do my fucking job, and if you fucking get in my way, I'm going to destroy you. That's how this shit works. So I feel like a lot of people, and I feel like a lot of comics don't actually kind of give themselves that license. And even male comics. I mean, you could be a young male comic and feel scared and nervous about it. Look, it's your job. You go up there and do work, That's your job. And somebody's going to come and try to fuck with your art. You have to stand up for that. You have to protect it. That's your job.
And it's hard. I mean, have you ever been kicked off stage before or asked to leave?
Again, another fucking Pakistani event I was doing. I need to, cut back on those. They invited this huge singer from Pakistan to come and attend this event, right? He has a massive following. So there's all these like rich married couples there who've each paid like $300, $400, $500 to be at this event. And they see me go up and I start doing comedy, and they don't want to hear it. I'm a woman doing comedy of their background. They don't want to hear it. all they keep saying is like they're, so all of a sudden I see the singer who was there. I make I make eye contact with him and his manager. I'm like not even 5 or 6 minutes in. I swear to God, I'm not even 5, 6 minutes in. I see somebody walk up on stage behind me. They're like, "Hi, they are saying they want to bring up singer first and then you do the comedy later." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And they were like, "No, he has to go." I'm like, "No." I was like, "No, I'm doing comedy. You asked me to come and do comedy, right?" So they're like, "No, please, you have to." So then I get off stage and this cocksucker comes up on stage, right? Does his fucking singing. He was nice to me, whatever, but he's still a cocksucker to me. And then he leaves, and then I get up on stage, and I don't hold nothing back. I was like, "Yo, fuck this shit. Fucking all gloves are off. You fucking insulted me. You berated my art, right? I came here, you hired me to do a job. I got up and I started doing a job. And just because your fucking narrow-minded bullshit can't tolerate it, you have somehow felt more control, or you somehow felt that you had power over me, that you're gonna come and try to kick me off fucking stage while I'm doing my work. Now I'm gonna fucking tear into you, and I'm not gonna hold nothing back." And that's exactly what I did. And I was like, "Fuck these people," I went up on stage and I just started tearing in, and there was this group of people. They were laughing their asses off. They had the best time. You know who they were? Indians. They were having the best fucking time. They were like, "Oh my God, they were like, everybody else, they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe she's saying that." I'm like, "Suck a dick. Like, get the fuck out of here right now," right?
Yeah.
Like, you're insulting me. So that's another thing, right? Fighting sexism even within your own culture, where they're just like, "Oh yeah, we appreciate you as a female comic, but you have to do the comedy we want." It's like, yo, fucking suck a dick. You asked me to do a fucking job. I'm doing a job. Now fuck off, right? Don't come and fucking insult me. I have a hard time expressing myself. I really struggle with it.
It's a Taurus.
I sound so angry. I'm not angry. I'm just passionate.
I think it's weird that the PC culture is evolved into people of, like, if you're a race, you can't say things about your own race, and then, like, PC white people get upset with you about talking about your own race.
That is outrageous, by the way.
I've seen
White
that happen.
People need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah,
that.
Devontae Green, a comic, he did Kill Tony, and he called his roommates gorillas. He's a black dude, and he has roommates are black guys. And like a bunch of white people got upset with him. I'm like, fuck you. He can say whatever he wants about his own fucking people. Jesus.
Yeah, like, okay, I'm just gonna say this. This is probably not a very PC thing to say. Look, there was a shit ton of racism by white people in this country, and then the society started getting refined, and people started getting more educated and more open and liberal about it. But now we're going the opposite direction, where it's like a form of like leftist like fascism in a way, where now you're starting to like edit me. Are we going back to the time that what Lenny Bruce was experiencing, where he was being edited and told that he can't say this and he can't say that? Like, which is it? Like, look, you can't be racist towards me and then be like, "I'm liberal now," but hey, guess what? You can't be racist about your own people either. Well, fuck you. Who fucking died and made you boss?
And who are the who's? That's the thing, is it's like, who's the guy that was at Columbia University? He's the comic in New York City. He got kicked off stage. I apologize for not remembering his name right now.
I can't remember. I do know there's a comic.
Talking about the Indian guy.
Yeah.
At Columbia University.
Yeah.
What do you do?
He got kicked
Nimesh
out.
Patel.
Was it Nimesh?
Nimesh Patel. Yeah, he's a SNL writer.
And he got kicked off stage because they didn't like, I guess he was performing for.
You know what joke he got kicked out for?
What was the joke?
The joke was, because he lives in Hell's Kitchen, which is where I used to live in New York City. So Hell's Kitchen Hell's Kitchen went from being like this kind of conservative environment to having a lot of LGBTQIA community people moving in, which made it so much more amazing, by the way. And he was talking about, he saw a young black gay man walking down the street, and he goes, "Man, it's something to the effect, paraphrasing, the effect of like, it's already so difficult being black in this country." He's like, "Yeah, so he's like, if people say that being gay is a choice, then so what were the thoughts that go into his mind?" He's like, "Yeah, being black is not hard enough. Let me be gay on top of it." And that was the joke he was making, and they lost.
What the fuck is that?
And they lost their shit on him. Yeah, that's what.
That's like empathetic, and it seems to like be supportive. That's so fucking weird.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, there's this.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of that. Like, you know, I'm, you know, my sorry, Travis, I didn't
No,
mean
you're
to cut you off. No, my point is that, you know, there's a lot of cultivation that still needs, there's a lot of evolution that needs to happen within the South Asian and Middle Eastern communities in America. And, you know, it's artists like myself who have to point out, especially females. The males, they still have it a lot easier. It's the females like me who have to, you know, we're the ones who are on the front lines, you know, fighting sexism and racism on both ends, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not just within our community, but also outside. So, you know, if we expect support from our communities and this is the way our communities turn around and treat us, well, then fucking all gloves are off. Like, what is it that you want me to do? Like, can I fucking live? Can I live? You know what I'm saying?
I do want to add, like, for you, is that why you do your show that you have, Minority Report? Is that what kind of led to
100%.
having that show?
You know, Minority Reports was really a child that, you know, it's a show I've had for 4 years, and I feel very fortunate to have it. I started off at the Comedy Store. I went to the Comedy Store, and I said, look, you guys don't have, like, really any diversity shows here. There's nothing like, you know, Crack 'em Up Thursdays is a great show, you know, but that's a primarily black show, and it's a great show. I just love the producer. She's so great. But I'm like, what about everybody else? What about comics like myself? What about comics with disabilities? What about comics, you know, women of color, people with disability, like all kinds of people that don't fit that category. What about us? And that's why I came up with Minority Reports, and I'm very happy that I did. I mean, we have showcased, I'm not even exaggerating, something about over 380 comedians.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've been very fortunate to have some really big names come through. Like Mark Maron's been on the show, Finesse Mitchell's been on the show, Tiffany Haddish was on the show. We had Eliza Schlesinger, Nikki Glazer. We've had some really cool people on the show.
And you have a show coming up tomorrow, right?
Oh my goodness, yeah, that's a really great show. So then we took the show from the Comedy Store, which I'm not going to get too detailed in it, but basically it, you know, the show just stopped happening at the Comedy Store. So then I was looking for a new venue, so I took it to Orange County because I had a pretty, you know, decent following there, and you know, knock on wood, we've kind of built that following out quite a bit. So tomorrow's show was sold out at like 200 capacity. We sold the show out, so I'm super excited about it. And yeah, that's a weekly show now. So rather than being a monthly show at the Comedy Store, it's a weekly show in Irvine.
And can you say the venue on here?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So the venue it's called Caspian Restaurant. Even I know it's a Mediterranean place. The food is like off the chain. It's in Irvine. It's right off the 5 on Culver Drive, and the food is amazing, and it's a really beautiful venue. It seats, you know, a whole bunch of people. Like they're holding us for 200 seats. And it's great. It's a great venue. The owner's a lovely, lovely person to work with, and you know, we have a really nice number of following that they're there. And then we have some other big shows coming up. On February 7th, we have Arab Girls Night Out comedy that I'm super excited about. And then we have a Valentine's show coming up after that. So yeah, it's good. Keeping busy.
That is very busy. That's great. Busy's good.
Busy's really good.
Busy feels so good.
Busy's really good. Actually, I was thinking about it. I was walking here to do this podcast, and I was like, I really need a massage. I'm so tired.
I like that feeling though of tiredness. I don't know how you feel about that, but when you have so much to do and your body is just like, oh, but it's like, oh, but I'm doing it. I'm still doing it.
I don't know if I like that. I want to have the energy to do the things so that I'm not having anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how your brain works, but for me, like my body could be tired, but my brain is like active as fuck.
Always.
Yeah. So even if I'm getting a massage, my brain's like, gotta do this, gotta do that. Okay, you know. So I like my body to sync up with my brain. Is what I'm saying.
It's the earth sign in you.
Is that what that is?
I'm sure. No, it's like, I don't know. I think it's very inspiring, but also I think I do think the spiritual end of this, like being able to like see somebody who's out here doing this and like doing it your own way is very important for especially like a female comic.
Yes.
To see, because When you like, how long have you been in LA, years wise?
10 years now.
So you've been here a decade,
Mm-hmm.
and you left. Well, you were in Jersey City, right? You were in Jersey.
I went to high school in Jersey City, but I grew up in New York City,
So
Midtown West.
So you're a New Yorker,
Mm-hmm.
and to see somebody go from a career that had nothing to do with stand-up comedy
Yeah.
into this, I don't even know, this pit of Los Angeles that it can be,
Yes.
and just make your own way is a really inspiring, but also
Thank you.
important thing to see as well.
Yeah.
So-
I feel like you know what it is? It's like you have to find out what works for you, right? Is somebody snoring?
I think Travis fell
Travis, are
asleep.
you snoring?
Oh, sorry.
Did you fall
My
asleep?
fucking nostrils are so stopped up. Jesus Christ.
I was like, I get it, man.
No,
We're
no,
talking
no, no.
I was
female.
like, wait,
We're
did I
talking
just-
vagina power, but
He
Yes,
was
I'm
like
slowly,
female.
surely falling asleep.
You said female, and he's like.
I've been having trouble fucking
future
breathing.
is
I'm so sorry.
feminine snore.
It's the comedy snore.
I'm
not
saying
the
hi to people in the live feed.
It's not comedy store. It's comedy snore.
What's the day? What day of the week is it right now?
It is
Tuesday?
It's snore day.
It's Snoring Tuesday.
Snore
with
your
the-
life away.
The podcast is now called Snoring Tuesday with
Christy Belledge.
Aw,
Christy, Travis, and special guest Mona Shaikh.
Yay.
Hey Travis, because I know you have a hard deadline out or
Yes.
time out. What time is it? Time check.
It is 2:28, but your
Yeah.
recording time is 41 minutes.
Okay, and I'm gonna hard
How much
check
time
her
are we
out.
in right now?
41.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That
we'll
means
get because I know you have. To,
I have to.
yeah.
I have to run off and do a bunch. Well, I have to prepare for the tomorrow's show. There's a lot going on. So.
And we're gonna leave this weird part in because I love weird parts of podcasts.
I like weird parts. They're my favorite.
I love just the off talk.
Comedy store be damned. We got the comedy snore.
Ah! Well, is there anything that you want to plug? I know we talked about your show for tomorrow. Is there anything else that you would like to plug today for the 8 listeners that I appreciate so much with all of my soul? You were a wonderful backbone to my
Well, I'm gonna be.
journey.
That's so sweet. Well, I have the show coming up tomorrow. Then I have a show coming up on the 7th. On February 6th, I'm doing Women Crush Wednesdays at Hollywood Improv.
It's a great show.
Yeah, you've done it, right?
I've been there. I've yet to do that show, but I
Okay.
will. If I'm in town, I'll come
Yeah.
watch you.
So I'm super excited. So I'm gonna do that one, and then of course Minority Report shows continue. I have a whole bunch of stuff going on the side, like I always do. So last night I walked my first red carpet. That was amazing.
That's cool. You look beautiful, by
That's
the
dope.
way.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Did you see her dress, Travis?
the
I did
Ovation
not. I have
Awards.
not been on
She's
social media.
Gorgeous and blue, lady. in blue. Travis is just jelly because he can't be wearing that dress all the time. You
Word.
I don't think I don't think you can handle all this jelly.
know.
All
I
this
was like, I'm
jelly
ready
that
for that jelly.
all this
Another
jelly
song?
that I got. But yeah, that's what's going on. But if people want to check out all 8 of you, if you want to go check out my shit, you can go to Mona Shaikh, SHAIKH.com. But you know what? I just want to say one thing. Christy is just a wonderful, wonderful comic. But more than that, she's just a wonderful human being, and you guys should totally support her. She is on this amazing journey. She's so brave, and she's so courageous, and she's, whoever comes out, like somebody like Christy, to come out from DC and take this leap of faith and do the amazing things she's doing. I'm so proud of her. So please keep supporting her.
Oh, Jesus on the cross. Thank you. You're going to clamp me up now. Okay. Well, I appreciate you for coming out to Burbank today.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Yeah.
You're going to come to the show with me tomorrow.
I will be there with
I'm
you
so
tomorrow.
excited. Christy's the bomb diggity, so keep supporting her, you guys. She's great.
And thank y'all for watching. I'm going to stay on the live because I'm doing 2 episodes in a row. But if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for watching. And if you have soap or laundry detergent, I will gladly plug your products. I also want to actually do have a little sponsorship today. Cassie the Sassy Instagram, her tattoo shop is West Coast Tattoos in Las Vegas, off Las Vegas Boulevard. She is fucking amazing. She is an artist, and she's just a wonderful human being. So Cassie the Sassy, check her out on Instagram for all of her tattoo designs. Yay!
Peace.
Peace.